I have finally completed the Mastery Camo grind in MW2, and in doing so, I've gathered some useful tips and tricks along the way. So I'm going to share with you the things I've learned that's helped me to hopefully make the grind a little bit easier for you guys. To start things off, going into the grind might be a little bit overwhelming, but it's okay. Everyone goes at their own pace, and luckily the camo grind is fairly easy in MW2 compared to other years. A key tip I want to point out is the required challenge to obtain the ORION Camo is to get 51 weapons polyatomic. The challenge does not specify what 51 weapons you need to get polyatomic. That means so long as you get any 51 weapons polyatomic, no matter what category they are in, or if they are base weapons or DLC weapons, it will still count towards the challenge. A good example is, let's say I don't want to use the M16 at all. Well, that's okay. I could substitute a different weapon in place of it, like the M13B or the Chimera, even though they are DLC weapons. This applies for all weapons. So if you are patient, as more and more DLC weapons get released, you have the ability to completely skip out on entire weapon categories you don't want to do, like the rocket launchers or the melee weapons. Also, another thing I want to mention is to make the grind less stressful and more effective, it's important to play the right maps. Almost every camo challenge, if not all of them, can be completed on the maps Shoot House and Shipment. These maps can make the Mastery Camo grind go so much faster. Also, what game modes you play matters too. I highly recommend you play objective game modes, like Hardpoint and Domination. The more people that are getting grouped up in one area, the better it is to get challenges done. Additionally, you will always get terrible lobbies. It's inevitable, especially with how bad skill-based matchmaking is. When you get bad lobbies, just back out. Trust me, it's better just to find another lobby than stay in a lobby that's not helping you at all. It'll make the grind so much quicker and will make things less stressful. That won't completely eliminate all the stress of the grind though. This grind is going to cause some stress at some point. You're going to have to use guns you're not comfortable with or just flat out hate at some point. Tier 1 mode will help with those guns you don't like or aren't that powerful. With health being much lower in Tier 1, it'll make guns like the pistols feel a lot stronger. Finally, you should have a reason to go after Orion. Don't just go after the camo because that's what other people are doing. Go after it because you like the camo and want to face the challenges that come with it. The grind is stressful and time consuming. You need to have a clear motive to keep you motivated. It's important to know if you really want to get this camo, it will be a challenge. It will lower your KD and other stats, and you're going to have to take breaks at some point. But if you have a clear reason to get it, then you're willing to accept that. With all of that out of the way, let's say you're just starting out your grind to get the Orion Camo. Well, a good way to make things easier is to have a plan going into it. For example, my plan was to level up all the weapons first, then do the camo challenges afterwards. I found this to be the most effective way for me, as when I was leveling up my weapons, I was naturally completing the camo challenges on my guns without even thinking about it. So upon going back and actually going for the camos, I'd already have 2 or even 3 of them done already on most of my weapons. But this strategy might not work the best for you. I have a friend who had a different plan when going for the Orion Camo. He would level up a weapon, do all the camo challenges for the weapon, and get it gold, then move on to another weapon. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to personal preference. Okay, so let's say now you have a game plan in place and you're ready to start the camo grind. but you're not exactly sure how it all works. Don't worry, I'll break it down for you. First, you have to get all the base camo challenges completed on your weapon to then unlock the ability to do the gold challenge. Most weapons in the game will have 4 base weapon camo challenges, other than the rocket launchers and the melee weapons. They only have 1 base weapon camo challenge. Most of these base weapon camo challenges are fairly easy to do. The only ones that aren't necessarily hard but can be tedious are the mounted kills, the prone/crouch kills, point blank kills, and hip fire kills. But don't stress, with the right setups, they could be easily done. I found for doing the mounted kills, the best setups that worked for me were putting attachments on my weapons that helped me with range, recoil control, and recoil steadiness. Also, the bipod was a huge help as well. On screen, I'll show you some of the attachments now. I would then pair my gun build with the deployable shield on an active lane of the map that people would typically use, and would get them done pretty quickly. As for the perks, they're honestly personal preference, but these are the ones I used. As for the crouch and prone kills, I'd use a similar, if not the same setup and strategy, but obviously just change up what action I was doing based on the challenge. I found that the deployable shield also helped a lot for these challenges as well, because I could use it for cover if there wasn't any nearby. Moving on to the point blank kills and the hip fire kills, I'd use similar setups and strategies to do both of them. I'd put attachments on my gun that helped with hipfire accuracy and control, as well as use attachments that helped with mobility. I will show all those attachments now. I would pair my gun build with dead silence and play on maps that have spots where you can get into very close range gunfights. like Shoot House, Farm 18, Embassy, El Bagra Fortress, or even the best map being Shipment. As for game modes, I would strongly suggest playing pretty much only Hardpoint or the 24/7 playlist for Shoot House or Shipment, depending on which one's out at the time. Now that you have your base weapon challenges done, it's time to get the weapon gold. The challenge to get gold is to get 3 kills without dying 10 times. This shouldn't be that hard. Really, it should come naturally. Sometimes it'll feel like you're always dying after getting 2 kills. It happens to the best of us. But don't worry, you'll get it, even if it takes a few games. If you're having trouble because you're using a gun you don't like, then maybe try tier 1 mode. Other than that, this challenge is straightforward. Use what attachments you find best on the gun and perks that you like the best. If you have to play less aggressive and camp a spot if you need to, that's okay. Over time, you'll get it done. Things that help me are using suppressors, the perk Ghost, Dead Silence, and having a UAV and even a counter UAV as a kill streak. I find that making it harder for the enemy to get information on you, but having information on them works the best for me to get kills without dying. Okay, so let's say now you're starting to get the hang of things, and you finally got a couple of your weapons gold. Well, now it's time to get platinum. To obtain platinum, you have to get gold on a required amount of guns within the category you're working on. For example, if I'm working on my snipers, I need to get 4 of my snipers gold to be able to do the platinum challenges on my snipers. Each category will have a different amount of required weapons you need to unlock the platinum challenge. DLC weapons do count towards this as well, so you don't have to do all the base weapons if you don't want to. A good example is to unlock the platinum challenge for the SMGs. It's required you have to get 8 SMGs gold, but there's 9 SMGs available currently. So if you, let's say, don't want to use the MX9, you don't have to. You could use the Bass P instead, and you'll still unlock the platinum challenge. This will stay true even when the new DLC weapons get added. So again, over time, if you're patient, as more and more DLC weapons get added, you could substitute different weapons out to make the grind a lot easier. So now you have gold on all the required weapons you need within whatever category you're working on. That means it's time to do the platinum challenge on all those guns you just got gold. Don't worry, it's not that bad. It's just getting long shots. This challenge will be the same for every gun in the game, but the rocket launchers and the melee weapons. I will go over the rocket launchers, the melee weapons, then the long shots. For the rocket launchers, you have to shoot down kill streaks, which isn't that bad. For the rocket launchers that lock onto kill streaks, the Pilla and the Joker, this will be easy. The only trouble is getting into lobbies with a lot of kill streaks getting put up. If you're having trouble, just go into ground war and there should be plenty of kill streaks to shoot down. As for the rocket launchers that don't lock onto kill streaks, the Strela and the RPG, I suggest playing on small maps. This allows for the kill streaks like the UAVs or the counter UAVs to be a bit closer so you could shoot them down easier. My only other suggestion is to use the perk Cold-Blooded to make it a little bit easier to destroy kill streaks that are hostile. I guess another suggestion would be as a field upgrade to run a munitions box. This way, if needed, you could toss down a munitions box and gain an extra rocket. If you pair that with the overclocked perk, you could then have 2 munitions boxes you could throw down. This is a pretty good strategy for shooting down kill streaks that require a few rockets to take down, like a VTOL or a chopper gun. As for the melee weapons, you have to get double kills, but they're actually extended double kills. It's getting 2 kills within 10 seconds. This challenge even works upon death. So let's say you get a kill and you die and you get another kill within that 10-second period, it'll still count. So honestly, this challenge is pretty easy and straightforward. My suggestion is to play on small maps. Again, shipment being the best. Honestly, shipment is probably your best friend here. And if you can, play on the map hardpoint, where a lot of people are grouping up on that hardpoint. For perks, I'd suggest running double time and tracker, or even substitute one of those out for an extra tactical. And then finally, for the last one, ghosts or quick fix. Then I'd run a stun, a flash, or even sometimes a smoke for my tactical. Each one is kind of situational. Stun is great for slowing enemies down. You can kind of throw a stun at them, get behind them, hopefully get that double kill. Flash obviously makes them so they're blind. This makes it a lot easier because a target that can't see can't kill you. And smoke's kind of the same deal. If you toss a smoke in the middle of, let's say, shipment, you throw a smoke in the middle of shipment and you kind of just sit in the smoke, enemies will come through and they obviously can't see very well in the smoke, and you could try getting a double kill that way. Other than that, that's all I could really think of for suggestions. This should hopefully make the challenge a little bit easier. Finally, for long shots, a few tips I can give is to build your weapons with attachments that give range, recoil control, accuracy, and if you have the extra slot, then more ammo. I'll show a build with a couple attachments I usually use on screen now. As for perks, it's really a personal preference for most of them. I'd say the only perk that might help is focus, because it could help flinch at those longer range gunfights. It also helps to use a deployable shield if you're watching a lane that has nothing to mount on or has no cover. For maps, you could play on any map and find a lane that has enough range to get long shots in. If you can't and you're having trouble, then ground war is always good for long shots as well. Personally, I got all my long shots done by mounting on the half wall on the middle lane on the map Shoot House. You're able to obtain every long shot with every gun, including snipers, using this middle lane on Shoot House. If you're not sure what distance for a long shot on each weapon class is, don't worry, I'll list them now. For snipers, they are 50 meters. For ARs, battle rifles, and marksman rifles, as well as LMGs, they are 38 meters. And then for SMGs, they are 30 meters. For pistols, they are 20 meters. And finally, shotguns are 12.5 meters. That's really it for long shots. If you're having any trouble getting long shots with the weaker weapons, then play tier 1 mode. Unfortunately, in tier 1 mode, it doesn't give you any medals when getting a kill, so you can't see exactly when you're getting a long shot because it won't tell you. To combat this, there are 3 sites in the game currently that tell you the distance when aiming down the sights. I will now show those 3 sites on screen. Other than that, the only other tips I could think of for getting long shots is for the shotguns. I personally use slug rounds to get my long shots, but really that's personal preference. Another tip is something I didn't personally use, but my friend used when getting long shots, and he said he really liked it and it helped him a lot, was to run a thermal sight on your weapon and then throw smoke grenades down and run the perk cold-blooded. This allowed for the enemies not to be able to see you at all, even if they were running thermals, because you had cold-blooded, making it almost impossible to kill you. Alright, so you finally got all 51 weapons of your choice platinum. Congratulations, you're almost there. Now you have to do the polyatomic challenges. But honestly, it's probably the easiest challenge. All you need to get for every weapon in the game, other than the rocket launchers and the melee weapons, is headshots. That's it. You just need to get headshots. For most weapons, it's either 20 or 25. This is really straightforward, and honestly will happen naturally just from using the weapon. At this point of the grind, you could now make two choices. You could use the weapon builds you like the most for whatever weapon, and use the weapon until it's done. Then move on to the next one. Or you can intentionally go for the headshots. What I did was intentionally go for the headshots. I created builds on my weapons that gave me the most recoil control, accuracy, and stabilization, as well as running a scope that allowed me to see the enemy's heads more easily. I did this just because I wanted to get the grind done and over with, so I was trying to get my headshots as quickly as possible. But again, you don't have to take this approach if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. As for the rocket launchers, the polyatomic challenge is to get double kills. This could be done by simply using the rocket launchers themselves or meleeing people with the rocket launcher. It's really up to you. Your best bet is to play on small maps like Shipment for this challenge. I'd honestly only play Shipment for this challenge because that's definitely the easiest map to get it done. For melee weapons, the polyatomic challenge is to get kills from behind. With the knife, this should be really easy, especially if you're playing Shipment. For the riot shield, it's a little bit harder, but again, just play Shipment and you should be good. If you feel like you can't kill anyone with the riot shield, then try tier 1 mode, because the riot shield will always be a 2-hit kill in tier 1 mode compared to the 3-hit in core. Perks that will really help you out is tracker and an extra tactical or double time. It's really personal preference to which one you want. I like having the extra tactical, especially with the riot shield though, because you could use a few tacticals to really help you out. The first being flashes. What the enemy can't see, they can't kill, so you can get an easy kill from behind simply by blinding them. Another great tactical is stuns. With stuns, you can easily make the enemy pretty much immobile, so you can easily just run around them and kill them because they won't be quick enough to turn around. Finally, smokes work really well for the same principle of what the enemies can't see, they can't kill. What I mean is, for example, if you throw a smoke grenade in the middle of the map Shipment and wait in the smoke for an enemy to dare to walk into it, you can easily kill them out of surprise because they won't even know you were there waiting for them. Honestly, the only other tip I can think of when going for Polyatomic is for the headshots. If you feel like you're struggling playing core and you're just not getting enough headshots, then try tier 1. For whatever reason, I feel like it's a lot easier to get headshots within tier 1. So if you're struggling to get those headshots, just join tier 1. Hopefully in the future, they make tier 1 playlists for Shoot House 24/7 and Shipment 24/7. Currently they're not out, but if they are out in the future after putting up this video, then definitely play that. You will get headshots a lot quicker. All in all, that's it for the Polyatomic challenges. After you get 51 weapons of your choice Polyatomic, then you have the Orion Camo. Now, unfortunately, they did change the way the Orion Camo works. So now if you want Orion on all of your weapons, you'll have to do all the camo challenges for the weapons you want to get it on. Then it will give you the Orion Camo on that weapon. So, for example, you now just unlocked Orion Camo on the 51 weapons you just did. But a new DLC weapon just released and you now want Orion Camo on that weapon. Well, then you'll have to do all the camo challenges for that weapon. That means you'll have to do the base weapon camo challenges, the gold camo challenge, the platinum camo challenge, and finally the polyatomic camo challenge. Then you'll unlock the Orion Camo on that weapon. In conclusion, that should honestly be everything I could think of for tips and tricks to get Orion. While not everything I mentioned will work for you, hopefully at least one of my tips can help you out on your grinds. Again, this is a long and stressful grind. It will take a long time to get this camo, but that's okay. Everyone goes at their own pace. MW2 is going to be a 2-year long game, meaning we won't get the next premium title Call of Duty until the year 2024. So that means you have a whole 2 years to get the Orion Camo. Not to mention, the more DLC weapons that get added to the game, the easier the grind gets. I really hope this video helps you out. If I forget anything, or anything changes to how to get the Orion Camo, or even if there's a tip that works for you that I didn't think of, that you think will help someone out, then please put it in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to pin it if I feel it is really useful. Anyhow, please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want more content like this. Have a great day, everyone. Oh wait, and one more thing. Good luck with skill-based matchmaking and the spawns. You'll need it.